Hey everyone, I'm Sage Valentine and welcome to my channel of the same name. Right now I'm going to review for you guys AMC's Mad Men Season 7, Episode 9 entitled New Business. Man, I'm going to totally miss this show when it goes off the air because I just lost Justified last night and this will literally be the fourth show that has ended in a year that I absolutely love and look forward to every single year that it pops up, or like the previews and everything, the trailers and stuff, so it's gonna like leave a pretty big void in my TV schedule for the spring and such. But anyways guys, what did I think about this episode? This was a really good one. It basically dealt with, for the most part, Megan, Don, Peggy, Stan, and Harry. But we're going to talk a bit about Harry really quick. Harry, I don't know what's going on with him, but the only reason why he agreed to help Megan revitalize her career or give her some tips was so that she would go to his hotel room and have sex with him. And if that wasn't bad enough, he goes back to Don after asking for Don's permission, which Don was just like, whatever, she's my ex, you do what you gotta do, I'm not even worried about it. He tells Don that like she kind of lost it at the meeting and she's gonna say some crazy stuff that didn't even happen. And I mean, like, Harry to me was just like a pig. I don't know what was up with him. Then we get to Megan, who basically gets a rude awakening during this episode because she's trying to move her stuff back to, well, the stuff that she left at Don's apartment back to the West Coast, because that's where she's going to stay and continue to revitalize her career, because she left New York and left the soaps trying to get on movies and stuff, and her manager is really not doing what he's supposed to be doing, so he's kind of just like, I guess, taking a bit of a back seat and allowing her to get interviews for different parts that are not leads, which is going to do nothing for her career. It's basically going to keep her at a standstill, which is why she asked Harry for help. So it was a big surprise when she showed up to the meeting in her pretty blue dress and everything, and Harry hits her with this whole, ooh, you know, we could talk up in my hotel room. And I was like, Harry, like, dude. And then when she gets upset, he's just like, that's the reason why your career is just like that, you know, or just like this, because of your reaction to my proposition. So in other words, because Megan won't sleep with these casting directors and such, that's why her career is going so bad. He's such an ass. Like, I don't care what happens to Harry at the end of this season. Like, after this episode, please, please. He's on my crap list right now. And then Megan has basically been talking to Don. Don's been sending her a bit of a stipend. And she's asking him for more money so she could, like, move her stuff out of the apartment. But when she moves it, she doesn't want him there. So she recruits her family. Her family comes down from Canada. Her sister's aggravating the crap out of her. I don't even know why, because I guess she doesn't get out much. And the fact that she got to the United States, especially New York, she wanted to go out and drink and eat. And Megan was just like, I can't, you know, I have this meeting and such. And her sister's just being really stupid. And then her sister and her mother both start, like, bringing up the fact, or like trying to blame Don for the reason, which it is his reason, it is his fault as to why he and Megan broke up. But the thing is that Megan's trying not to think about that, and here they come with, he ruined our family by breaking up or something. So to make a long story short, Megan asked her sister to just sit in the apartment and just wait for the movers and tell them what to move, and then she could leave. And the sister has this hissy fit, and I guess she wants to go and pray at a church like the mother said or something. So the mother agrees to do this. And then the next thing you know, what is the mother doing? She's talking to the very nice moving guys and says she wants more stuff taken out because of the apartment, because she's going to give Megan, or Megan should be able to take what she's owed. So the guys want to move the stuff, but what ends up happening is that she only has, I think, $200 or $300, and she calls up Roger, and then Roger gives the money, but even before, he's just like, does Megan know this? Did Don sign off for this? And when she says yes, the moving begins. They move the stuff out. Then the next thing you know, Roger and Megan's mom have had sex. So by the time Megan gets back from that horrible meeting, she's just like, where the F is Don's stuff? And yes, I had to rewind back because I had to be sure that she said the F word and I wasn't hearing things, and she sure did say the F word. So basically what happens towards the end of the episode is that Don decides to, because Roger's trying to, you know, warn him, like, Megan may say, you ruined my best years, blah, 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 and Don just basically signs a check for $1 million and gives it, which I interpret as, now that he's happy with Di and he wants to build a relationship and probably build a life with Di, he wants to release Megan, because when she, like, says and cusses at him and tells him all the things that he did wrong, he tells her he's sorry and he knows, like, he's acknowledged his mistakes. Then we get to Peggy, Pima, and Stan. Stan ends up sleeping with this Pima chick. She's like an artist or something. And before they have sex, Pima asks Stan to see some of his work. So he goes home. He's upset because he can't find anything to show her. And then his girlfriend takes these provocative pictures. Well, Pima decides to tell him, oh, your girlfriend really doesn't like you that much, or she doesn't understand you that much, or something. And I guess then they had sex. I'm trying to remember. I think they did. So, to make a long story short, all of a sudden this Pima chick is trying to come after Peggy. Which is like, I'm side-eyeing that. I'm like, okay, I understand if you are, like, going both ways. Like, if you're bisexual, hey, knock yourself out. But this woman seems to go to the highest bidder, meaning that she's just trying to use that to get what she wants. It doesn't necessarily mean that she likes men or she likes women. She just uses her sexual prowess to move forward, in a sense. And Peggy at first wanted to work with this woman because she was powerful and she was trying to butter up Peggy, but after she found out that she slept with Stan, Peggy wants nothing to do with this chick. Then we get to Don. In fact, we'll get to Stan before Don. And it was pretty funny how in the end, even though Pima was telling Stan, like, listen, your girlfriend's not really into you, she doesn't understand you, Stan still stayed with his girlfriend, who was the nurse, which I thought was pretty cool. Then we get to Don, who seems to be falling in love with that Diana chick he slept with in last week's episode 8. And his storyline kind of breaks my heart, but then his whole storyline this season is making me sad. Because once we started to understand why he does the things he does, like what he's going through, and what his childhood was like, and the fact that he had to fake his name and everything, and I understand why he was the way that he was. However, Di broke his heart because he asked to see her, brought her to his apartment, they had sex, they made love, they seemed to be clicking, and then one night, Don tries to hold her while she's sleeping and she's not feeling that. And then, to make a long story short, she seems to be enamored with his apartment and everything, and she likes it, she thinks it's pretty, but she wants Don to come over to her apartment. And he does, and she lives in a pretty, like, dangerous area. I wouldn't even say it was like the hood or the ghetto, but it was a pretty high crime area in Manhattan, somewhat. So, to make a long story short, Don brings her a gift in the end. After he signed that check for Megan, which means he cut all ties with Megan, and he's happy, and he just wants to get in a relationship with this girl, and he, you know, he was there with her, and he stayed a little later with her when she was like kind of revealing her soul to him, but then he realized, or he found out, that she was lying. And she reveals that she divorced her husband, and then she reveals that the reason why she divorced her husband and left Wisconsin is because her daughter died. And then in the end, she's very standoffish, and she finally reveals that she left her husband and child after that one daughter died. And the sad part was that Don was still willing to accept her, and yet she basically turned to Don and told him, like, I don't want to feel anymore. And we see Don basically leaving with his back turned. He didn't even look back, so you could tell that he was heartbroken. As I said, with this season, we're going to see more sad things happening to Don, especially in the beginning of this episode, which is pretty poignant to me, when Don was over there at the house with Jean and Bobby, and he was making milkshakes, and then he was seeing Betty, and Betty was happy, talking about she was going to get a master's degree, and it seemed like he kind of missed Betty, which it would be weird if he ended up like getting back together with Betty or something, but you never know with this show. You never know. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys take care. Don't forget to rate this video, leave your comments and your questions about season 7. Also, hit that subscribe button beneath this, and check me out on Twitter and Google, Sage Valentine. So until next time, I love you guys. Bye, guys. Bye.